What is going on? Got another night here. I haven't really done a good job of posting these past couple days. Been focused on just my creative projects. Again, for those that are just following, or if you do follow and you see this video, I run a clothing brand that's centered around a animation series. So I've been working on directing that and doing updates to the website, designing some new clothes, really just trying to design new characters within the story. So I've been working on that. So want to do a better job of just interacting with you guys personally, because I haven't done a good job with that in the past. So just trying to hold myself accountable, but also, hear feedback and connect with you guys. And especially if you guys are creating content, want to hear what you guys are going through. For me, the past week, I've been thinking about the idea of having a label, right? Like a label next to our name. Some of us want to be a CEO. Some of us want to be the best dad, right? Some of us, want to be, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, right? Like everyone has different priorities in life, and a title is certainly a reassuring way of that. And so the reason why I was thinking about it, and I want to talk about it and see what you guys think, but do you think a label attached to our name is something that you guys like or dislike? And at least in my opinion, it's something that I initially don't like, right? I don't like the idea of having a label next to my name. But when things go bad, that's when that label is nice. So I'm not a dad, I'm not a father. But say if I was a dad, and I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I got let go. It's easy, not easy, but it's like, okay, I got let go from my 9-to-5 job. I'm no longer a X. Say I was, a CEO. Which I know CEOs are working more than that 9-to-5 there. But just, hypothetically, at least if I got fired from that 9-to-5 and I was so proud of that title of a CEO, I still have that title of being a father. So this is just kind of thinking out loud about labels. And why are we either so proud of those labels or not so proud of those labels? Like what is the core of that? And it just depends on your priorities in life, right? And I'm thinking about this idea of labels and having a certain label, right? Like we'll go back to that CEO and founder, right? Like, man, that there's so much power to that, right? Like, man, you've in business, you're at the top of the top. Or if you're an entrepreneur and you're this founder, right? Like, we're proud of that title, we're proud of that label. But what will happen when that goes away, right? When we become so dependent or attached on a certain label or title, it could take control of us. And I was thinking about Forrest Gump, really this other day, like, which is crazy because I've watched Forrest Gump multiple times, and I'm thinking about that story, and every time I watch it, I'm like, this is just a goofy story, right? Like, this is just some, innocent dude that is just kind of going about life and has a cool story, etc. But really, yesterday I was thinking about it, and because I was thinking about the idea of labels, and Forrest Gump there's such an underlying lesson into that. And maybe this is something that's obvious to you guys, but the biggest takeaway for me with Forrest Gump is he never let that label define him, right? When he had every reason to, right? He had every reason to lean into that label or attach the label to himself because he was doing everything at a high level. Like, for instance, he was an Alabama State football player, right? Then he was a businessman with Bubba Gump Shrimp. Then he was this hero in war. And so those are all things that any other ordinary person in life would let that moment or that achievement define him, or define themselves, excuse me. But with Forrest Gump, it was like, it was just comical because he was just going to the next thing. And I think that's something that we just apply to ourselves if we can, right? Like, it's so tempting to, whenever, especially if it's something we're proud about, it's so tempting to take that label, right? And take pride in that. But if that goes away, then we're gonna put ourselves in a bad position there. And so with Forrest Gump, he never let his successes or failures define him. He just kind of went about life, and he just happened to have that impact on people. So again, I don't know if that makes sense to people, but I was just thinking about labels and the idea of labels and the idea of getting too attached to a label, and just the whole Forrest Gump idea, that Forrest Gump thought of, like, he had every reason to label himself because, and a normal person would have. I mean, who wouldn't want to say they were, the best on Alabama? Who wouldn't want to say they got the Medal of Honor in every single conversation that they start, right? Who wouldn't want to say they sold a multi-million or billion-dollar business in Bubba Gump Shrimp, right? But he was just an ordinary guy, and he never let those labels define him. And so if you're out there and you're especially creating content, we could use that kind of idea, that theory, to ourselves. Don't let subscribers or followers define your content. Go about it. Have that Forrest Gump method, right? Doesn't matter if you get 10 likes or 1 million likes. Like, just kind of go about it as if you can't even see the views. So again, just some thought. Again, a little rusty speaking in front of the camera here. I'm not used to being this direct, but I do want to hear your thoughts. And it's just fun chatting with you guys. So peace out.